Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 1 emulation with Duckstation, and Duckstation just got a brand new update. Now it is worth noting that Duckstation is on a rolling release schedule, so it gets updated quite frequently. If we take a look here, if you're a fan of retro achievements, there were some small tweaks that you might be excited about. So if I scroll down to the bottom of the changelog here, the latest and greatest change for retro achievements is showing points for most recent unlock. And the rest of the changelog has a whole bunch of fixes, tweaks, and improvements just in general, some relating to retro achievements and some not. And on a side note here, it's also worth pointing out this is not for the Android version of Duckstation. If I take a look on the Google Play Store, which has the latest and greatest version, the last update was at the beginning of May. And speaking about updates, next up here we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with ShadPS4 Plus. Now, I've been asked quite a bit about this one. There's a number of people who think this is an enhanced version of ShadPS4. And I would argue it's really not. It's a fork of ShadPS4. It's unrelated to the official ShadPS4 project. They say it's a fork of the ShadPS4 emulator that restores PKG support. So taking a look on GitHub, and the person behind ShadPS4 Plus is the exact same person behind Azahar Plus, which is a fork of Azahar 3DS that restores some features and is also highly controversial. And we've talked about this one in previous videos as well. So at the time of filming, ShadPS4 Plus version 0.12.0a is the latest and greatest update. And they say here ShadPS4 Plus 0.12.0a is the same as ShadPS4 0.12.0 with a few bug fixes from version 0.12.5, except it retains PKG support. I don't recommend this one at all. There are a number of reasons as to why I don't support ShadPS4 Plus and Azahar Plus as well. One of the main reasons being is that the development team for ShadPS4 and also for Azahar do not support these forks at all. If there are issues, the team will not be able to help. The second reason here is because forks like this one lag behind the main project. I mean, they rely on the main project to update in order for these things to receive updates. That brings me to my third point, where these things don't normally offer anything more in terms of performance and optimizations over the main branch. Another reason here, and I can just keep listing them off, but I'll stop here. The naming convention introduces a whole lot of confusion. I mean, taking a look at the name ShadPS4 Plus and Azahar Plus also, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been asked if they offer anything more compared to the original emulator. Are they more enhanced versions? Are they more optimized? Do they offer more performance? And the answer really is not really. So looking at this, it introduces a bunch of confusion. I do wish it was named something completely different entirely, but maybe that's just a hot take. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about different versions of things and also emulation, kinda. I mean, we will talk about it in this segment. Next up here, we're talking about Red Dead Redemption on mobile. And Red Dead Redemption has just dropped on Android and iOS, and there's both free and paid versions. Now, it is worth noting the free version does have a star beside it. I mean, if you've got a Netflix membership, then you have access to the free version. If you don't have Netflix, there is a paid version, and in Canada, it's $60, and I think it's $40 if you are in the States. Taking a look here on the iOS store, the iOS App Store, it's $40. Now, I have seen a number of complaints about the price of Red Dead Redemption on mobile. I mean, $40 is not cheap at all. However, it is the full version of the game, and that is worth pointing out. However, and there is another however here, on Steam, the game is currently 50% off. And this is significantly cheaper than what's on the Google Play Store right now. So if you are looking to possibly save a few bucks and your phone can support stuff like GameHub and Winlator, and Steam games run well on those things for you, this might be an option. I mean, using Steam and something like Winlator or GameHub with Red Dead Redemption may yield you the performance you're looking for, or maybe not. I don't know. But just taking a look, there are some videos on YouTube showcasing the performance difference between the two. And I would say Winlator here is pretty impressive. I mean, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, but I'm taking a look at the FPS on this device specifically, and it's over 40. On top of that, as an added bonus here, the PC version does support modding. Furthermore here, and this is really interesting, someone has Red Dead Redemption up on Nintendo Switch emulator Eden versus the Netflix version. And Eden seems to be running a lot better than the game. I mean, look at the frame stuttering in the Netflix version. That is not good at all. I mean, Eden here seems to have no problem running the game at a steady 30 frames per second, where the same cannot be said for the Netflix version. Very interesting. Now, it is worth noting in terms of overall power here, this phone is no slouch. They're using a Galaxy S25 Ultra with a Snapdragon 8 Elite. And that is kind of crazy that they're running into that issue with the mobile version of the game versus just flat-out emulation. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, but I find this fascinating. And speaking about interesting stuff, next up we're talking about Helldivers 2. And if you're a fan of Helldivers 2, if you play Helldivers 2 and you wish the game was a little bit smaller, well, your wish has been granted. So the Helldivers team has been working to reduce the overall file size for the game, and they say here in an announcement up on Steam, "We are happy to report that thanks to our partners at Nix's, we have reached that goal much sooner than expected. By completely deduplicating our data, we were able to reduce the PC installation size from 154 gigs to 23 gigabytes. So overall, that's like an 85% reduction in data. Crazy. They say we have completed several rounds of internal QA and are ready to roll this out to early adopters as a public technical beta. Our testing shows that for the small percentage of players still using mechanical hard disk drives, mission loading times have only increased by a few seconds in the worst cases." Feel free to check out the blog post for more information on the matter if you were looking into specific details about it. Like everything we talk about, links will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. Taking a look here, it does seem that the results are a lot better than they were thinking. And speaking about stuff up on Steam, next up we're talking about Mina the Hollower. Now this game hasn't released on Steam just yet. If you're familiar with this indie game, well, you know all about it. If you're not familiar with this indie game, it is being developed by Yacht Club Games, who you may know is behind Shovel Knight. Anyways here, this game is critically important for this studio, at least that's what's being reported. So there's a paywalled article up on Bloomberg and also an article up here on Insider Gaming, and this article is titled, "Shovel Knight Dev's Fate Depends on Mina the Hollower's Success." So basically here at a real high level, Mina the Hollower is going to make or break the studio, which I think is very weird and crazy given the fact that Shovel Knight has been so successful. But I guess initial success will only carry you so far. They say Shovel Knight developers can only remain independent if Mina the Hollower is a success. And furthermore here, they say the dev studio has already undergone downsizing and now only has 15 employees left, with finances at a low point as well. The co-founder has stated it's make or break for sure, adding that if the game sells 500,000 copies, they are golden. If it sells 200,000, they're still happy. If they only sell 100,000, it could be a problem. Feel free to let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I, for one, am looking forward to Mina the Hollower. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Shovel Knight. I'm a real big fan of everything they did with that series. And I'm looking forward to this game as well. Notice the launch date is a little bit outdated. Either way here, I'm really hoping this game is a success. And speaking about games that haven't released yet, next up we're talking about Octopath Traveller 0. And if you're a fan of Octopath Traveller and we're looking forward to Octopath Traveller 0, it seems that this game is going to be very well received. So the game does release on December 4th and reviews have started to come in. If you are interested in learning more about this one, VGC, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Video Games Chronicle, depending on how you wanted to interpret that, they've got you covered. They've got a pretty detailed article about the initial review of this one. It has been machine translated, the review, and it looks like the score is sitting around 85%. I'll be honest with you here, and being fully transparent, I'm more interested in seeing the user reviews for this game as opposed to the press reviews. And that might be a faux pas considering I'm technically press, but at the same time, I love seeing the voice of the gamer. Anyways here, the game will be between 80 to 100 hours, and it also seems one of the big drawbacks is the screen shake, which can't be turned off. Now, I don't know about you, but if there's combat and there's screen shaking, that's one thing that does cause me a little bit of, I don't want to say motion sickness. Is it motion sickness or just a headache? I would love to be able to turn that off, and if you can't, the game is a no-buy for me until I can turn that off, until it's probably issued in some sort of update. Either way here, let me know your thoughts about Octopath Octopath Traveller 0 in the comments below, and if you've got the game wishlisted, and if you're going to pick it up. And speaking about games that have been well received, next up here we're talking about I Am Your Beast. Right now on Steam, this game has an overwhelmingly positive review score, with the recent reviews saying this game is very positive. This is an indie game, and it's getting a physical release. So the Lost in Cult website has a PS5 Collector-ish edition being released. If you're interested, again, like everything we talk about, links are within that GitHub link below. And speaking about physical releases, next up we're talking about Anbernic, who have just unveiled the RG477V handheld. And this is a vertical handheld, that's the V in 477. From my understanding, it's going to have very similar, if not the exact same internal components as the 477M. If you are interested in this handheld and wanted to learn more about it, I would recommend checking out Russ's video over on the Retro Game Core here, titled Anbernic RG 477M Review, Made for Us. Now this is a different handheld, but from my understanding it will have the same internal, so in terms of game compatibility it should be relatively similar. Overall, this may be a well-received handheld, or maybe not. The 477V, at least to me, seems a little bit chunky. But I don't know here. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and if the 477V is up your alley. Unfortunately, I don't know pricing or release date just yet. But knowing Anbernic, we're going to know a whole lot more about this one pretty darn soon. And speaking about retro gaming handhelds, but talking about release dates and prices, next up here we're talking about Lego. And if you're interested in a arguably non-functional retro gaming console, well, Lego might have you covered here. They're releasing this brand new product in January, and it's being priced at $20. Now, I won't lie here. When I first saw this, I thought it was a joke, but this is on Lego's website, and this is an official product, unless I'm wrong, which I don't think I am. A couple of things. One, it's a very interesting product overall. Not necessarily up my alley. Maybe it's up yours. That sounded weird. Anyways, and secondly here, I think this is really good for the scene to have official retro gaming consoles from big companies to at least acknowledge their existence. And speaking about interesting hardware and release dates and prices, next up here we're talking about Genshin Impact and PlayStation. And if you're a fan of limited edition DualSense controllers, you might like this announcement here. There's a brand new limited edition Genshin Impact controller. It's priced at around $85 overall and goes up for pre-order on December 11th. Now, I don't know about you, but at $85, it's a hard pass for me, but I guess if you're a huge fan of Genshin or limited edition stuff, you might be interested in this. Unfortunately, I don't know quantities, but I'm guessing that this is going to be a hot seller for scalpers. And last up here, we're talking about retro game fan translations. Now, we talk about them from time to time in videos as news comes out about them. However, if you're looking for a recap for the month, Emulation does have you covered. They've got a brand new video here titled Monthly Game Fan Translations Recap for November 2025. If you are interested and wanted to learn more about it, again, like everything we talk about, links are within that GitHub link below, and they do have everything timestamped for very easy navigation. The most recent ones on this channel we've talked about are Final Fantasy X2 International and Last Mission, and also Dragon Ball Kai. But there's a whole bunch more stuff. I think we talked about Maple Story DS as well. Anyways, there's a lot here. Every month, more and more games get translated, and I think that's a really cool thing. And last up here, we're talking about Windows, and every time we talk about Windows, it seems to be some sort of blunder or another. Anyways, Windows has yet another blunder here, and listen to this headline up on The Verge. Microsoft's latest Windows 11 update improves and breaks dark mode. Now, I don't want to say that this one is being blown out of proportion, and I'm not defending Microsoft here. I wouldn't necessarily say this is an earth-shattering bug, but it is an annoying one. I mean, having that nice bright white screen pop up every single time you open the file manager is a little bit of a nuisance. Anyways here, hopefully they get it fixed at some point. I'm kind of surprised. I shouldn't be, but I am. How does this stuff get through QA nowadays? They should be on top of it, especially with how long Windows has been around for. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. If you're wondering where the legendary one fluff is, it's worth noting it's currently winter in Canada and the room I'm filming in is very cold. She wants nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing to do with a cold room. I'm going to have to try to coax her in some way, shape, or form here to have her make a camera appearance. Anyways, we talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.